So I'm sure you guys have heard this one before. There are no stupid questions. When in fact, we know, let's be honest here. We're all adults. And yes, there are stupid questions. There really are. But the only thing that really brightens my day, more so than anything else, is the truth, which is why I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy having these conversations. I enjoy reading your comments, and I enjoy engaging with you on Patreon. And there's a link down below to Patreon. Help me out. I would appreciate it by hitting that like button first, making this video go viral, because I think that we're going to discuss some things here that a lot of folks need to hear. But better yet, come over to Patreon. Sign up for free if you'd like to. I just put up a full video over there today of a video that I can't show you on YouTube. And it's entirely free. So go check it out and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, your thoughts. And it's okay. You can tell me the truth. Much like President Trump here, who holds nothing back. Calling a spade and a retard with or without that magic wand that can detect retards from close proximity.
Get out of here.
Don't touch people. Come on. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands. They're so... Why do you always go to violence and keying Teslas and throwing Molotov cocktails? Why do you always have to get violent? Peaceful protest. Peaceful protests. Peaceful protests. Peaceful protests. Peaceful...
Not hard to do, really and truly, if you are out there with the hands-off protest. If you're a paid protester from George Soros, or you got duped into thinking you were going to get paid, but inevitably didn't, because apparently they told them not to pay the black protesters. Okay, racism from within. Apparently this is, targeted at seniors. By the way, there's no young people at these protests. And the other one that I saw was they're feeding the homeless. So that's a good thing, right? But in exchange for feeding the homeless, they have to hold a sign in protest. Okay, you see how that goes? And then I saw one today that was really, really interesting. And it said that there was a protest of like 500 in Pensacola. And so I asked Michelle, I said, how come it was in Pensacola? How come it wasn't anywhere else nearby? And in the Panhandle. And we came up with an idea. We came up with a theory. I want to know what you guys think, and later on, I'll fill you in on what Michelle and I came up with, what we discussed. Anyway, that's enough of me yapping. Let's just jump right into our first clip here. And I hope that you guys find this just as amusing and informative and educational as I did, and entertaining. The GOAT, President Trump, tells a reporter, I'm not sure which network she's with or what paper, but I would assume it's New York Times or Associated Propagandists or Axios or some woke publication like that. And the question is there pain in the market at some point you're unwilling to tolerate? And it's a little loud. I'll see if I can adjust the audio levels to cancel out some of this noise, but President Trump clearly tells her what he thinks. And he says, I think your question is so stupid. Here, watch.
Is there pain in the market? At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I think it's I don't want anything to go down. But sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And we have such a horrible, we have been treated so badly by other countries because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country on a monthly basis. It's pouring. It's already started because they put tariffs on, and eventually it's going to straighten out, and our country will be solid and strong again.
I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'm sure you're all in agreement here. I'm sure you guys are on board. But when has President Trump, when has Donald Trump lied? When has he lied? When has he not done something he said he was going to do? I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that because I know a lot of folks are questioning tariffs and listening to the mainstream media and watching their 401ks and all sorts of things. I get it. I understand. But there is a downside. For instance, if you do get your talking points from MSNBC, you can wind up saying and believing stupid shit like this.
When we saw the president stand in the Rose Garden holding up that chart that you helped make, that wasn't actually tariffs. That was actually confusing to investors because it was some kind of other formula, and the countries themselves seemed kind of random. Like, why are the Heard and McDonald Islands, which don't export to the United States and are quite literally inhabited by penguins, why do they face a 10% tariffs? Did you use AI to generate this?
No. The idea is
why
that there
are they
no
on the
countries
list?
left off. Because the idea, what happens is
dumbasses like Margaret Brennan, is that her name? Was it Margaret? That's the one J.D. Vance laid into in the debate, right? After Tim Walz sat there nodding in agreement with everything J.D. Vance was saying. Yeah, because her partner, the other moderator or proctor, she resigned. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down, right?
To anchor this legacy broadcast.
But essentially what's happening here is they're fishing. They're fishing. They're trying to present this idea. And here's what they do. They indoctrinate and they propagandize this rhetoric for their narrative and their agenda for their low IQ audience, which it's okay. You can increase your IQ, folks. So if you watch MSNBC or some of these mainstream networks, you can actually improve. You can do better. So don't worry about that. But they know that they're extremely susceptible and gullible and are used to being gaslit, and they actually enjoy it. So they ask questions through statement. They're asking if it's AI by essentially telling their audience it's AI, knowing their audience isn't going to listen to the answer and response. And even if they did, could their brains compute? For which I don't think hers can. And the reason why they're doing this, in addition to, is for the phishing to find some way to tie it back to Elon Musk. Okay. Elon Musk is the bad guy here, apparently. Okay. But here's a problem with that. Here's where the left fails. This is literally, they don't even think much further beyond 2 seconds of their initial thought and idea or attempt at creating this divide. Okay. They don't realize that maybe it was AI, but there's more thought and effort and energy put into this. It's not just on a whim. This isn't just some statement or claim being made by a Democratic candidate who ultimately lost because there was no actionable steps behind the said plan than just saying these things and then not knowing how to actually get them done, relying on economists who speculate and are often wrong most of the time. Instead, you have a businessman. Better yet, you've got two. Actually, you've got three, and that's President Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk. And if we get into the rest of the administrative cabinet, you'd be surprised at how many folks are actually business owners, run successful businesses, know how to negotiate trade, and know how to be successful. They're applying all of this collectively to this country, running this country as a business, not allowing people in that don't belong, not letting people steal things without paying for them, kicking out criminals, prosecuting them, holding people accountable, negotiating the best price, keeping customers happy. Literally everything that a successful business should do is being done. Okay. All right. And why not use AI? AI is a great tool. AI is helpful. AI is the future. Hell, even Biden said, you better learn the code, bitch. You're fired. Before he put on his MAGA hat and said he wants some ice cream. He's the president. I'm the president of NATO, right? Right. Anyway, Elon Musk. I'm going to show you this here. Elon Musk set up a 100,000 NVIDIA GPU or 100,000 NVIDIA GPUs in 19 days. I don't know if you guys remember this when it happened. This is October 2024 last year. And this is while the founder of NVIDIA himself, Jensen Huang, said it normally takes 4 years to do this.
Building a massive factory, liquid cooled, energized, permitted in the short time that was done. I mean, that is like superhuman. There's only one person in the world who could do that. Elon is singular in this understanding of engineering and construction and large systems and marshaling resources. It's unbelievable. Then his engineering team is extraordinary. I mean, the software team's great, the networking team's great, the infrastructure team is great. You know, Elon understands this deeply. From the moment that we decided to go, planning with our engineering team, our networking team, our infrastructure computing team, the software team, all of the preparation in advance, all of the infrastructure, all of the logistics and the amount of technology and equipment that came in on that day, NVIDIA's infrastructure and computing infrastructure and all that technology, to training, 19 days. Do you know how many days 19 days is? It's just a couple of weeks. And the mountain of technology, if you were to see it, is unbelievable. All of the wiring and the networking, and I think what Elon and the X team did, but what they achieved is singular. Never been done before. Just to put in perspective, 100,000 GPUs, that's easily the fastest supercomputer on the planet. That's one cluster. A supercomputer that you would build would take normally 3 years to plan, and then they deliver the equipment, and it takes 1 year to get it all working. We're talking about 19 days.
4 years. Elon did it in 19 days. So, before we address the elephant, we're going to address the elephant in the room first. Elon Musk is a badass. He's got capabilities, you know. Obviously, having a lot of money helps in getting that done, but it still gets shit done. And if he can accomplish something that should take 4 years and do it in 19 days, well, what do you think he's going to get done in 130 with Doge? And that's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. The media is so afraid of that, and they don't even know the full extent yet, and they won't until he leaves. And then they're scrambling. They don't know what they're going to do. They're afraid because ultimately, you know, people are going to be shown the light. And the light at the end of this tunnel isn't a train coming down it. It's not a Biden Kamala train coming down it to crush you, you know, and run you over. This light at the end of the tunnel is actually prosperity. It's actually hope. It's actually the American dream on the other side. It's the end of wokeness. It's all things great, good, holy, common sense. Now, with that being said, you can't tell me that President Trump and the Trump administration and Elon Musk haven't run their entire game plan through some of the most complex models that AI can compute to determine the most likely, logically successful outcome possible, with multiple alternatives and solutions for possible variables that could be thrown and unknown unknowns that could happen along the way. You couldn't pick a better team than what we have been so lucky and fortunate to have won and elected as president of the United States. Period. But I wouldn't expect this lady to know that, or her producers to feed that to her on her notes or talk to her in her ear or put it up on a teleprompter, because that's not their MO. They're not actually trying to do any good. They're not actually trying to report on the news. They're not actually trying to be journalists. They're really just trying to be opposition.
If you leave anything off the list, the countries that try to basically arbitrage America go through those countries to us. Any country, like we had tariffs, the president put tariffs on China, right, in 2018. And then what China started doing is they started going through other countries to America.
Right.
They just built through other countries through America. And so the president knows that. He's tired of it. And he's going to fix that. So basically, he said, look, I can't let any part of the world be a place where China or other countries can ship through them. So he ended those loopholes, these ridiculous loopholes. And now what he's trying to say is, I'm going to fix the trade deficit of the United States of America. It's a national security issue. We need to make medicine. We need to make semiconductors. We need to make ships. We need to have steel and aluminum. Come on. We need the greatness of America to actually be built in America. And he's tired of getting ripped off by the rest of the world.
Okay.
Quick show of hands. How many of you are tired of being ripped off? How many of you are tired of being ripped off, specifically, particularly, and most importantly, by those who are supposed to be looking out for your best interests? Hey, it's a knock at the door. It's the government. We're here to help. Yeah, not so much. But I am. And that's why I want to share this with you. This is actually something that I just came across in the middle of editing this video to bring to you guys. I shared it on Patreon, but I want to make sure that you guys have it as well. And there's full, complete videos on Patreon that I'm creating, that I'm making, that I know I can't post on YouTube because they'll get flagged. But this one here is extremely important from Patrick Bet David Valuetainment, and timely, because Monday will be here before you know it. And the last thing you want to do is panic, because that'll be real bad.
Some experts are saying tomorrow, Monday, is going to be Black Monday. Like, market's going to drop. It's going to be nasty, and it may. So I got some unsolicited advice I want to share with you before we kick off our week. A couple things. When COVID happened, I was in LA getting ready for a board meeting. I land, we get to Beverly Hills Hilton. Wife is there, kids are there. We thought we may as well go to Universal Studios for, having a good time with the family. All of a sudden, that's the day where Rudy Gobert gives COVID to Donovan Mitchell. Disney closed down. Universal closed down. NHL shut down. We're in LA. We're like, what the hell is going on? We got on a plane. I said, babe, we can't stay. We got to go back. Everybody canceled the board meeting. We flew back to Dallas, dropped our family, came back to the office, was at the office till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And the one thing I studied was the following. My entire business insurance is face-to-face. I have to sit down in front of you to sell you. So imagine you got 15, 20,000 insurance agents nationwide. None of us know how to sell on Zoom. We've never done that before, right? So it was a big disruption to our business. Every one of my guys was frightened of what's about to happen. I stayed there. First thing I looked at was the following. In the history of America, I looked at every pandemic that took place, top 10, worst pandemic on how the market performed. And it shows, the collapse and all this other stuff, nasty. Out of 10 pandemics that we've had, 9 of them, whatever the drop was that was drastic, within 6 months, it recovers and goes above and beyond. The only one that it didn't recover for 18 months was the AIDS pandemic that we had. So what's the point here? When the market tanked, and it went to like 18,000 Dow, I don't know what it was, but some number like that, one of my good friends was so afraid of where the market was going to be going that he took 100% of his money out of his investments. We're talking 10 million goes down to 5 million. He takes the whole thing out. 3 months after he takes the whole thing out, everything goes back to normal price that it was before and beyond. But he lost $5 million. So what's the moral of the story? Whether tomorrow is going to be black, if it's Black Monday tomorrow, I'm losing tens of millions of dollars tomorrow, and purely investment-wise. But if it is, pump the brakes, not your financial advisor, seek counsel. I got to put that disclaimer out there. Pump the brakes, don't make an emotional decision. If you're a passive investor, not an active one. Active is somebody that watches it 24/7 and is managing everything that's going on. But if you're passive, 401k, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, stuff like that you have, that all of them, oh my God, Bitcoin went to this, Ethereum went to this, look at the Tesla, look at Max 7, look at Roger, what are we going to do? Just pump the brakes. This tariff situation is going to come about, and it's going to go. You have to know one thing that the president knows, and every CEO of every job knows. If the market goes into shits, guess what? the other party's taking over midterms. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying to you. So every leader knows when you come in and you make some drastic changes, it better work or else the other side's going to get a job. They know that, trust me. So having said that, long term, future looks bright. Short term, only the paranoid survive. Whatever you do, try to tap into your ability to reason. Not emotion, but logic and reason. If you do that, we're all going to be fine. But I will tell you, we are about to go through some bumpy. This is why I call 2025 the year of surprises, because I knew this was coming up. And I knew if the president was going to do what he said he was going to do with tariffs, oh, lots of enemies. And many of the enemies he was going to create were going to be domestic. People who lose money. And a lot of people have lost money so far in 2025. But I don't want you to be surprised tomorrow if Monday's a crazy day with the market. That's why I call 2025 the year of surprises. And if you know one thing, if you've seen Tom Cruise's movie Cocktails, which is my favorite Tom Cruise movie, I know there's a lot of great ones. He says, I bet you can never spook me again. And she said, I bet I can. We're having twins. I just want to make sure you don't get spooked tomorrow if the market is crazy. Just stay in control. Don't dump everything because it's probably going to recover quickly. Again, I may be wrong, just telling you, that's what I'm doing.
If the market drops, if April 7, 2025 is in fact Black Monday, this could be the greatest thing to possibly ever happen, especially in my lifetime, my generation. And I see it as a huge opportunity, a great win to set yourself up to come out the other side smelling like a rose. I mean, I've talked about this before. I'm not sure if you guys heard, but I'm going to continue sharing this on these videos. And more importantly, if you guys want to discuss this one-on-one more in depth, Patreon is definitely going to be the place to be. But I do see this as a great opportunity. Okay. And most importantly, it's a great opportunity to exercise, patience. Patience is going to be key, and staying in close communication with the truth. So the last thing I would do tomorrow is pay attention to any mainstream media, period. I would not do it because they're out for blood, and they're gonna use it in any way possible to try and make President Trump look bad. And all that's going to do is cost you money if you react to it. I'll watch it because I'm not going to be persuaded. I'm not going to react, and I'm not going to make any rash decisions or knee-jerk reactions. And I'm only going to be listening to the things that they're not saying and reading between the lines to make sure that this time next week or this time next month or this time next year or in the future, my net worth is higher than it is now, period. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. I've been sidetracked for so long trying to get to this portion of the video. The post-millennial says, Senator Cory Booker, and I quote, I can feel folks waking up. I can feel the energy. I can feel the wave growing. It's a wave of saying this president is toxic, chaotic, demeaning, and degrading, and is hurting American people, and we're not going to stand for it. Watch or listen.
One of the things that is a characteristic of yours is you acknowledge when you've made mistakes or when you change a course. And you've talked a little bit about that in terms of how you've approached nominees recently. And you made a point of saying that you've been imperfect in your long speech the other night. So I'm sure you can't remember every moment. I was curious. I mean, when you got off the floor after 25 hours, after not eating, not drinking, not using the bathroom, what happened was it was your party, the entire Senate, I should say, moved forward on the nomination of Matt Whitaker as NATO ambassador, meaning no one used the power to put a hold on him. That's one example. Obviously, there's lots of power and lots of things happening in Washington. But have you had discussions over the last couple of days with leadership, with other colleagues, about the need to take more aggressive steps to block nominees?
Yeah, I get to serve in a body with a whole bunch of really incredible human beings who all have incredible lives. Literally, I get to sit in that back row, and in my back row is a literal astronaut, the guy that has been a fighter pilot and defied gravity, on the same row as somebody like Tammy Duckworth, who is literally has lost her legs in combat. These amazingly heroic, committed people who struggle with trying to find out what is the best way at this moment that America is calling on their leadership, what's the best way to serve. And all of us have tried things, stumbled, struggled, and tried to figure out how do we honor the traditions and really the quorum of the Senate, but yet at the same time show that we are fed up and want to fight. And so those discussions go on, and each individual senator has to make their decisions. But I'm proud of the 47 that I've been in, and I think all of us, including myself, know that what we've been doing is inadequate and we need to do more. And I think what you're seeing right now and what you're going to see over the coming weeks and months, you've talked about it a little bit, is a lot of people that are going to follow the leadership of our states, because we are seeing people who've worked 2 shifts and then are coming out to rallies. We have seen people who are carrying their children because there's no child care available for them. They're carrying their children with them to rallies to speak up. And so in many ways, the people are leading right now. And I know that a lot of us are committed to being with them in that fight. And I'm excited about this moment. I could feel folks waking up. I could feel the energy. I can feel the wave growing. And it's not a Democratic wave or a blue wave. It's a wave of saying this president is toxic, chaotic, demeaning and degrading, and is hurting American people. And we're not going to stand for it.
Michelle and I went to dinner, and the two of us, a little date night, and inevitably we came to the unanimous decision agreement, which we are usually on the same page here. Whether we say it or not, we can just give each other a look and just know what we're thinking, what each other is thinking. And basically what it boils down to is that there's certain areas that Soros is going to bust in and inject the optics. These are all optics, folks. And so in Pensacola, for instance, perhaps they did that in that area for a recruiting purpose, because anywhere east of Pensacola, even into Panama City, which I have to look and see, maybe Panama City had a protest. It didn't come across my feed, but it's like, I think they're doing it for recruiting, because if you did it in my neighborhood, you would be rejected, like unanimously rejected, like without a shadow of a doubt, that would not fly in this neighborhood. And so your protest would be challenged. And so in these other neighborhoods, these other demographics, they're not challenged. They're offering some form of dangling carrot, some form of stimulus, some handout, some freebie in exchange for your unknowingly supporting and, backing and standing shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of freaking wackos, nut jobs, libtards for something you don't even know what your sign says. You don't even know what it means. So anyway, that's just our take, what we think, but what do you guys think? Love to know. Thanks for watching. Check out these other videos next. Links down below in the description. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.